The world is a confusing, stressful, and often frightening place.
And we each have our own unique coping mechanisms that help us get by.
Some people will tell you that when life gives you lemons, you should make lemonade.
No, that's terrible advice. Just randomly getting free fruit is extremely suspicious. Haven't you heard of Snow White?
That's actually a really good point. It's usually not a great idea to consume anything if you're not totally sure what's in it.
If you're the type of person who copes with discomfort by making strange jokes and who enjoys losing yourself in a creepy and sometimes bloody mystery,
please join us for our dark comedy podcast, Studying Scarlet.
We alternate weekly between true crime and fictional crime, and we even take listener requests for episode topics.
So if you too have a morbid sense of humor, we'd love to welcome you into our weird, quirky, and sometimes disturbing world.
Studying Scarlet is available on your favorite podcast app, and you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
We can't wait to meet you.
Please subscribe today.
Welcome to Reverie True Crime. I'm your host, Paige, and today I'll be discussing a case about custodial child abduction. Usually when we think about kidnappers, we think about strangers. But a lot of times, it's not a stranger, it's their own parent. A lot of cases don't have endings like the one we're going to see today, so let's get right into it. On the 8th of March 2012, ABC News reported that a mother from Arizona was looking for her daughter, who was only 2 years old. She had been missing since the 22nd of February. 22 years old at the time, Ava Enlow stated that she had taken her daughter Ava to the house of the child's father, 31-year-old Brent Anderson. This was on the 18th of February 2012. And everything was arranged for Athena to get Ava on the 22nd. The 22nd came and Brent didn't show up. Athena wouldn't see or hear from him in a very long time. As most mothers would do, she made a call to the Phoenix Police Department and they listed Ava as missing. They referred to the unpleasant incident as a case of custodial abduction, and they did have an arrest warrant for Brent. He had lost his job not too long before this happened, and he was dealing with financial problems. Brent's family, as well as his friends, weren't able to get in touch with him. Nobody knew what he intended to do to Ava or where he could have taken her. Athena told ABC News, quote, "It was a normal drop-off. There were no words, no nothing. Just, 'I'll see you on Wednesday, Ava.' But I didn't get her on Wednesday." End quote. Brent's own mother said she didn't know anything, stating to ABC News, quote, "I don't know anything. He did not want me to know anything. I know she is fine wherever she is with my son." End quote. His mother claimed she had not talked to Brent since Valentine's Day of 2012. Athena and Brent had gone through so many years of court battles before a custody arrangement was made. Both of them shared custody of little Ava. Brent's mother went on to say, quote, "He should have never had to go through what he has gone through. It has pushed him to the limit where he has to take off." End quote. Before all this took place, according to Brent's mother, he would take his little girl to the park and to look at the animals. Brent's mom did say that Ava should be fine without her mother Athena being present, but she believed Ava was safe wherever she was with her dad. Brent's mother said, quote, "I think she, Ava, is better off not here. If you find her and she has to go back to that family, it's not going to be good." End quote. The reason Brent's mom said this was because she called CPS on Athena, but there was absolutely no danger to Ava. Melinda was even on national TV claiming Ava had been molested by her stepfather, but she would always dodge any question involving the investigation of those claims, because CPS did conduct a whole investigation, and found absolutely nothing. Reportedly, they were only trying to make Athena out as a bad mom and making excuses for what Brent did. According to Brent's mom, her son got married on February 11th. Athena and Brent's mom agreed that the two may just be on their honeymoon and took Ava with them. This was not new for Brent and Athena to have issues with Ava's visits. The previous October, Brent told Athena that he was going to go on a vacation, that he and Ava would be back a week later. Athena said, quote, "I didn't approve it, and he hadn't talked about it until the day before. We went to law enforcement to get her back," end quote. This time was a little different. The authorities couldn't get in contact with Brent at all. Athena and some of her friends even started a Facebook page called Help Bring Ava Home, along with a website, bringavahome.com. The Help Bring Ava Home Facebook page had more than 1,200 likes at that time. Athena described how she was feeling. She said she was in a haze of fog and it seemed so surreal. She didn't want to believe that this was happening, and she didn't know how to deal with it. Athena nicknamed Ava her little monkey. She told ABC News that she adored macaroni and cheese and is such a social butterfly and always joyful. Ava even had her own little language. She said 2-year-old Ava was just amazing. At the time that they were looking for Brent, he was driving a 2002 dark blue Chevy Silverado, describing his height as 5'10" and weighing 235 pounds. They described Ava as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, 3-foot-tall, 40-pound 2-year-old who would turn 3 in April. On the 7th of March 2012, the Daily Mail also put out an article about the missing baby, describing Athena as a desperate mom, pleading for her 2-year-old to return safely. Ava was last seen on February 18th with Brent at a Starbucks that was right outside of Phoenix. Athena told azfamily.com, quote, "The most terrifying thing is you're sitting there saying, 'Where is she?' You're like, 'This is a dream,' or 'This is just a miscommunication. Am I on the wrong day?' That's what's going through your mind. When she doesn't show up 5 days later, you can't sleep, you can't eat," end quote. The website also reported on how the police were now calling it a case of custodial abduction and how the police did issue a warrant for Brent's arrest. They were afraid for Ava's safety since Brent had recently gone through troubles financially. He lost his job and his house to foreclosure. Athena stated that her daughter would often come back from Brent's house with burns and bruises. His mother, Melinda, said that wasn't the truth. Brent's mom told Nancy Grace, quote, "I have not heard from my son, but I do know that he would not do anything to hurt her or harm her, and Athena even admitted that to my daughter," end quote. Family and friends of Brent tried to get in touch with him, but the attempts were unsuccessful. I am not exactly sure how they were trying to contact him, as they also said that he did not own a cell phone. azfamily.com reported that Athena and Ava were finally back together after going 6 weeks without each other. Ava was kidnapped by Brent and taken to Mexico. The Phoenix authorities stated that when Athena and Ava reunited, as she held Ava, she was sobbing. James Holmes, a police detective, said he and other detectives worked so hard to find out where Brent and Ava were. They discovered that he had taken off with her to Pueblo Nuevo, Mexico. Brent was immediately taken into custody, and thankfully, Ava was okay. Brent was charged with kidnapping and taken to Maricopa County Jail. One of the supervisors from Brent's job said, quote, "He's been at Fry's for 16 years and loyal, totally loyal to his job. Great father, great guy," end quote. Even Brent's friends attested that he was a good dad and what he did was not like him at all. After Ava was found, Nancy Grace announced it and the ex-mother-in-law was on the show. Here's a clip from what happened in that interview.
But right now, I want to go straight out on news that a baby we have been looking for, baby Ava Enlow, age 2, has been found. Straight out to Dave Mack, morning talk show host with WAAX. Dave, what can you tell me baby Ava found?
Nancy, it's some of the most exciting news that we've been able to tell in a long time about a missing child. Custody kidnappings happen all the time, but in this one, as you have covered since the very beginning, baby Ava went missing after her dad did not return her from a scheduled visit. They had no idea where he had gone. They knew that he had cleaned out the house, he'd cleaned out the bank accounts, and they found his truck at a bus depot. They had no other clues to go on, but Phoenix police, working with the U.S. Marshals and the Mexican authorities, tracked down baby Ava to the small town of Pueblo Nuevo, about 3 hours north of Mazatlan, and they were able to track down baby Ava and return her to her mother.
Everybody, breaking news right now, baby Ava Enlow. We told you all about baby Ava not long ago. Her mom goes to pick her up at a local coffee shop. Daddy never shows up with the baby. She goes to his house. They find the home cleaned out, partially moved out. No trace of the bio dad and his brand new wife. They are gone, and so is the baby. The big headline is, baby Ava is alive. Baby Ava has been found, is back with her mother. You see Daddy there doing the perp walk. Daddy with the baby, with the new wife in Mexico. And joining me right now is baby Ava's grandmother. This is her paternal grandmother. Melinda Barros is with us exclusively. Miss Barros, I know that you're concerned about your son tonight, but the big news is they're both alive. Baby Ava is safe. What can you tell us? Why did your son take baby Ava out of the country?
Well, Nancy, first of all, let me set the story straight here. Her name is Ava Anderson. It's not Enlow. And my son takes my granddaughter out of the country to protect her. If I could start out by asking your audience tonight if they could please help my son. If there's an attorney out there that could help him to go through this nightmare for him, it would be much appreciated.
Okay, Miss Barros, your son took the baby out of the country and was hiding in Mexico. Repeat.
My son was not hiding.
Why did your son take the... Oh, really? Because you told me when you were on my show not long ago that you had not heard from him at all. Nobody knew where he was unless you knew where he was all along and you didn't tell anybody. So is that true?
That is absolutely correct. But my son was not trying to hide. That's why his truck was sitting at the bus station. My son signed his name to the ticket. If he wanted to hide, he would not have left a breadcrumb trail to where he was at.
Well, why would you leave a trail? I don't understand. Leaving a breadcrumb trail, you're referring to the story of Hansel and Gretel, where the evil stepmother was trying to kill the baby. All right, let's rethink that comparison. You were on with me recently, and you told me you did not know where your son was. Now, to me, if I don't let my family know where I am, that means I'm hiding. Let me rephrase it for you. Why did your son leave the country with baby Ava?
My son, Brent Anderson, has worked the same job for 15 years. He has pursued his rights as a father through our judicial system. It was Brent who took his life savings for the last 15 years to hire an attorney so that he could follow our judicial system. And Brent even had to borrow money from a family friend, Paul Aratico, so that Brent could follow the our system as far as he could until they wouldn't help my son any longer to keep her safe. We even called CPS. CPS didn't even help us. If my son...
Well, safe from what, ma'am? Safe from what? And if your son is out borrowing money, didn't you tell me he quit his job? A surefire way to get money is to work, and I would suggest a second or third job if you need more money. So my question is, if he needed money, why did he quit his job? Number two, you still haven't told me why he left the country with his daughter. And most importantly, you say it was to keep baby Ava safe. Safe from what?
Okay. That is an exclusive that I am going to give to everybody as soon as an attorney is hired for my son. And if there is one of your audience members would like to step forth and help my son, I would be more than happy to give you the exclusive story about this woman and her family and the sick and demented things that they've got going on in there. And that's the reason why that their relationship stopped in the first place. And Athena did not want my son to...
Miss Barros.
Baby Ava. Yes.
I appreciate that, because if my son were in trouble, I would do everything I could to get the best lawyer for him. But it seems to me that if you really believe your little baby granddaughter Ava is threatened or is in trouble, you wouldn't be talking tonight about exchanging her safety for an exclusive interview. Now, what is wrong with her surroundings? Why is she not safe? If she's not safe, she needs to get out of that home right now.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's why we called CPS. How come our judicial system is not working for us? We've gone to the police. We've gone to the sheriff. We've gone to
Well,
CPS.
for one reason, if you are as difficult to get the answer, I mean, I'm pulling teeth here. If she's not safe, then tell it. Let it be known. Let's get the child safe. If your son felt he had to go and take her to Mexico...
She is not safe. I've tried saying that. I said that to CPS. My son has said it to CPS. Nobody will step in and take over. They say it's not our jurisdiction, where we're not going to do this. How else are we supposed to do it if the judicial system is not working for us? Nobody is listening to what we're saying. There is some serious issues going on.
Well, maybe that's because you're not giving any answers, Miss Barros. I mean, no offense. I want the baby safe, all right? But you're not giving me answers. When you say the baby's not safe, I say why, and you won't tell me why, so that you're losing all your credibility. Yes.
Okay, let's try incest, okay? Let's try incest. How about my granddaughter's been molested? How about we go there? How about we get some people on the show and let's do some lie detector tests? It's all there. There are some serious issues going on in that household. I have got a lot to say. There's a lot to tell you about what has gone on and what makes us come to this conclusion that this is what is going on. My granddaughter does not need to be in that...
All right, Miss Barros, let me get this straight. Are you saying that baby Ava has been the victim of child molestation while in the custody of her mother?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Have you taken her to a doctor?
Yes, we have.
What did the doctor say?
My son has not abused her.
Repeat, what did the doctor say? I'm going to try one more time. With me is baby Ava's paternal grandmother. She says she fears for the child's safety. You say the child has been molested while in the custody of her mother and that you have taken her to the doctor. Repeat, what did the doctor tell you about baby Ava?
Nancy, I was not at the doctor to know what was said, and then my son fled from the country. I do not know what the conversation was between him and the doctor. We're trying to obtain...
Okay, so you're on national TV saying the child's been molested, it's been taken to a doctor, but that's the one fact you don't know the answer to as to whether the doctor said she's been molested?
Brent has told me that that she has been molested, and I don't have the records to prove it. That's all. I need to have Brent find out
Okay.
that I can show the evidence.
Okay, to Dave Mack, morning talk show host, WAAX. Dave Mack, could you make any sense out of the paternal grandmother's claims? There's not a police report that we know of, and it's my understanding that in that jurisdiction, if a doctor, a physician, a school teacher, anybody believes that there is evidence of molestation or abuse, it must be reported to police. Is there a police report, Dave Mack?
I'm biting my tongue over here listening to her forked tongue on your show again. A couple of weeks ago, you had her on there, and you knew there was some difficulties between the paternal grandmother and the mother. We all understand that. But what we do know is that when baby Ava came home from visiting her daddy, that she had cuts and bruises and burn marks on her hands, and that the biological mother took baby Ava to the doctor. And the doctor, so they could photograph it, so they would have proof that that's what happened when she was with the biological father. You got the mother here trying to dangle some kind of an exclusive interview. She's making accusations on national television and has nothing to back it up. The one thing we do know is that she's not being truthful with you, because before, when she was on, she said absolutely not. She has no idea where he is. She has no idea where the baby is, only that the baby is fine, that he wouldn't hurt the baby. And now she says that, she knew that he was in Mexico with the baby. If he's so broke, why is he getting remarried on February the 11th and leaving 10 days later and taking his baby, Ava, with his new wife, smuggling her across the border in a bus, then hiding out 3 hours from Mazatlan with his new wife's family, where Ava has never been, apparently? I mean, this just stinks to high heaven.
With permission, I have some posts that I can read that were on the Facebook page Bring Ava Home. On February 23rd, there was a picture posted of Ava's favorite plush toy, Stitch, from the movie Lilo and Stitch. He was looking out of the window with the heartbreaking caption that said, "This is Ava's favorite stuffed animal, Stitch. He's waiting on his best friend to come home." March 7th, 2012. It says, "Good morning, everyone. There hasn't been any new leads with the police this morning, but we have been working with our contacts at Missing and Exploited Children and working on sending information to America's Most Wanted to get them to air the story as well. Thank you, everyone who has left their porch light on for Ava." On March 26th, 2012. 34 days missing, 38 days since she was last seen by her mommy. Hope you are safe wherever you are, baby girl. We will never stop looking. We're going to bring you back home. Porch lights on at night for Ava until she returns home. On April 3rd, 2012, someone updated the Facebook page and said, "Ava is home. Such a happy day for her mommy and daddy. Athena, Bubba, and Ava, we love you so much. This has been such a long journey to get you home. We never stopped looking, and our porch lights stayed on for you, baby girl. Thank you to everyone following us on this journey. So glad to see there are still so many compassionate people in the world. We will continue to keep you all updated as much as we can through the rest of this process. I know by this point the media has probably caught wind of Ava's return, but we do ask that you continue to respect Athena and her family's privacy, and when she's ready for an interview, we will let you know." May 22nd, 2012. She said, "Hello all. I apologize. I don't mean to neglect the page of updates. Life just kind of takes the wheel and pedal, and sometimes it's hard to stop by and let everyone know the latest. Brent will be appearing in court tomorrow as he has put in a motion to be released to a third party, himself, or to have his bond reduced. The judge is meeting to rule on that motion. It is my understanding that some news channels have asked to film it, so I will see if we can find that video. As for an Ava update, she's doing very well. Her vocabulary is growing, as well as her. She is probably 3'6", and she's really getting to be tall. Thank you all for the Mother's Day wishes. We had a good Mother's Day. She got me one of those Hallmark roses that now sits in her room so she can open and close the bloom as much as she pleases. That's the latest. We'll be updating again soon." On July 1st, 2012, Athena wrote, I was doing some research today and found a fact that made my jaw drop. According to a government website, there are estimated 200 cases of parental abduction a day in the United States. However, I don't find that extremely hard to believe because in the time that Ava was missing, I got the privilege to speak with people who were victims of their parents taking them or the parent who had their child taken from them. It was just something I thought was really sad that it happened so often. September 21st, 2012, she wrote, On Wednesday, I went to family court and saw Brent for the first time in 7 months. The court hearing felt like it went quickly, but by no means did it fly by. The judge took under advisement what testimony was given and stated that she would publish her decision by minute entry. I just wanted to let you know the latest. February 18th, 2013, she wrote, 1 year ago today, I pulled into the Starbucks parking lot to drop my child off with her father for court-ordered parenting time. It was a short drop, and to this day, I can still feel the emotion of every time having to watch my child go back and forth from mom and dad's house. I remember backing out of the parking spot after watching Brent and his new wife drive away with Ava in the middle of them. Every time she left, it would be, of course, very sad, but I would push it to the back of my mind and just look forward to when I would get her back. On this particular day, though, I had no idea that I would not be seeing my child for the next 45 days. I would never have imagined the manhunt, sleepless nights, and of course, support that I would get to help find my baby. I cannot repeat enough how much I so appreciate the support I had in finding my child. Thank you so much. An update since this February 18th day, 1 year ago, Brent is still in jail awaiting trial. He has been offered a plea bargain but hasn't said yes or no. Ava, as you can see earlier, got a new puppy named Olivia. Ava has been in school for almost a full school year. She has made so much progress with her speech and fine motor skills. She hasn't shown any signs of trauma since she came home April 3rd, 2012. She has some instances where she will wake up from a bad dream, but for the most part has been a pretty happy 3-year-old. So I got in touch with Athena, and this is the newest update on Ava and the family. Ava is now a vibrant 11-year-old preteen. She's full of energy and is training in gymnastics. Although the trauma Ava faced has affected her cognitive learning, she makes it a goal every day to practice in her classes and share kindness with anyone she comes into contact with. Athena said to me, quote, I'm so grateful that I've gotten the opportunity to watch Ava thrive. I know I'm incredibly lucky to have the outcome I had in a case like this. Every year on her anniversary of coming home, I send the detective a thank you and update on Ava just to remind them how important their work is. So that is what Athena had to say, and I found out that Brent was released from jail 3 years ago, and he could have reached out for contact or visits through his probation officer. He got off of probation a few months ago, and he hasn't tried once to see Ava. But I'm so glad that this episode had a great ending. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I really wanted to bring awareness to custodial child abduction because this happens way more than I even thought that it did. When I think of kidnapping, I usually think of strangers, and hundreds of children get kidnapped by a parent every day. And I just wanted to bring awareness to that. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, stay safe and stay healthy.